And good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel, back with the Wandering Mariner. So today's question is from Catch Visuals. Thank you for the dono. Says, can an AB watch stander really make $100,000 a year? What is the hourly and what is the overtime pay? And this is, when you see these posts on Military Sealift Command's website, you're kind of like, at first, you're like, well, it says an average salary. So let's get into it a little bit and break it down. So the annual base salary for an ABW is $57,623 per year. So that's the annual salary. That's what you're going to make whether you're on vacation or whether you're at work. That is your annualized salary. So really the money computation goes into the overtime rate. And the overtime rate per hour for an ABW, that's a watch stander AB, is $36.57 per hour. Now, again, as a watch stander, which was your question, you're going to automatically work 16 hours of overtime every week just by standing watches, because you're going to have to stand watch 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. So your weekends are paid as overtime. So automatically, you are going to do 16 hours of overtime every week. But we're not machines and we're not robots. And I don't want to, I think if you worked 52 weeks a year and just worked all the time, yes, you could easily make 100 grand as ABW. But let's talk about the reality of how it is. And let's say you do 4 months on, a month off, 4 months on, a month off. And let's kind of calculate in being relieved late, because that's kind of a standard for MSC. So let's say you're going to work 10 months a year, 2 months a year off. And I think that's a reasonable, most likely work-life balance of what you get with Military Sealift Command. If you go with this company, you can anticipate probably working at least 10 months a year, or on average. So we're going to say that we only worked 44 weeks this year. So your overtime, we get into it saying that you worked 44 weeks based on the 57,623 for your annual salary. Working the overtime, 16 hours a week for 44 weeks, that's another 25,700. So that brings up our total for just working 10 months a year, our standard overtime, no additional watches, no additional events, no unreps, no trash or painting, or just standing your watches as an ABW. Working 10 months a year, you're going to make $83,368, which is decent money for working 10 months a year. Now, again, if you work the whole 12 months a year, you're going to smash that 100 grand easily. But getting into it, so what additional hours of overtime are needed to make that 100 grand? So that difference of $16,000 based on the overtime rate, if you worked 10 months a year, you would have to pick up an additional 454 additional hours of work, almost 455. So that's going to be about 10 to 11 hours per week additional overtime on top of what you're already doing. So I would say you would have to do about 2 hours of some kind of event every day, either an unrep or going out on deck, doing overtime, working with the bosun, chipping, painting, doing something extra to make that money. And again, this is like working 10 months a year. So doing the additional hours, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, not doing it on weekends. Now, if you want to go out and work on weekends, that's additional penalty time. There's all different types of ways that this can stack up really quick. And I don't think it's unrealistic to make 100 grand as an ABW. Now, this is not an ordinary seaman watch standard. This is an able-bodied seaman, so you're more experienced. And just looking at like an able-bodied day worker right now, The average annual salary they're saying right now is $98,000, and I would say that is right on par what everybody should expect. But that's probably working 11 months a year. But they're also throwing on a $24,000 bonus. So if you are not prior service, like getting an annuity as being a retiree, and you qualify for that bonus, that's a pretty sweet bonus to sign up for Military Sealift Command. So if you are an AB sailing with SIU and you are thinking about coming to MSC, I think it's definitely worthwhile. Again, Catch Visuals, I want to say thank you for the question. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave your comments below. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and we will hit you on the next one. Peace.